Obviously not with like the bucket is literally just.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. You people have got to be nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
After all this time that I've had that setting. It is. Oh, that's freaking amazing.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I haven't gone down here before. Well, I probably did in my original playthrough, but not in this playthrough of the Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, God.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Oh, no, it's an intervention.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this
fake
bucket
wife,
you're
baby,
carrying around everywhere.
computer
the
line,
isn't even
broom
from the
closet.
original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the adventure line and the broom closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the adventure line? We could make the adventure line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I can't remember the exact. I remember getting the broom closet ending at one point, but I can't remember exactly what happened. I mean, I can't remember anything. It's 6 years ago. What if I... Can I knock... No. Can't knock them over. Alright, adventure line. Adventure.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Don't you dare say the bucket. Thank you, Idiot, for the 12 months. Happy birthday, Broughy. Have a nice stream. It's not my birthday, though. But I am having a nice stream. Thank you.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
I'm not getting rid of the bucket.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No. No.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True,
No.
It also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
This feels like
Can you
the
guess what the
companion
Bucket
cube all
Destroyer
over
does?
again.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley.
Broughy, I swear,
Say
if you kill
goodbye to the
Bucky.
bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
I bet not.
Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Rip Bucket Destroyer. And back to the start. Oh, man.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Okay. What if... And just humor me on this one. What if I don't take the bucket?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, I'm leaving. This feels wrong. I feel...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This definitely doesn't feel right. I don't feel good about this. I feel all out of sorts without Bucky. You never end up anywhere else, do you? You're always here. I feel like that must like trigger something, surely.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
So this is like...
relaxed for a few moments.
This almost feels like when you don't take the bullet, you're back in the original game. I can't remember exactly because it's been 6.5 years, but this feels like this is what would happen if I did all of this.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the
original game without the Ultra Deluxe. Like the bucket is the key to new content. But if there's an ending without the bucket, I'm kind of curious what it is. Can I go up? No. I think we're getting to the point where I want to start exploring some different endings, but probably with help.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this
Has it really
passageway
been
had the
6.5
word
years and I was there to
escape
watch
written
on
it,
stream?
the truth was
I know, right?
that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every
3 new
opportunity to turn
non-bucket
around and
endings,
get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So like all these endings are just the same, right, as what I've done in the original game. Speedrunner of this game and forgot all the endings. Yep, good job. Like this is the original version of this without the bucket.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
Stanley
so we've
can't
done
see
this,
the bigger picture.
but 6.5
He doesn't
years
know
ago.
The real story, trapped
In the
forever
original
in his narrow
playthrough.
vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this
You
violent
should find the
end
last
to
figgy
his
first
brief and
before asking for
shallow life.
endings. But I don't know how. It said
Stanley.
red and blue, and I know that there's red and blue doors at some point, but I can't remember how to get to that
Farewell,
point.
Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do
I
you
remember
see that
this.
Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I do remember this. Yeah, it looks nicer than it did 6.5 years ago. And it looked nicer on YouTube as well at better quality. Yeah, I remember looking through all of this. It's like backstory to the game, insights, credits.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Yeah, it was
Listen to me.
insanely ahead of its
You can
time.
still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Who
Don't
did
let
want you to quit? Same thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Why is it different here? Does it do something
bucket.
different?
A strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I'd like to, yeah, okay. This is, okay, we're into the point where I want to experience some endings, but with some help. But first of all, red and blue doors. I want to find the last statue. We've already played it longer than I think I played it originally back 6.5 years ago. I think. So I want to know. I want to know what I need to do to get the red and blue doors, which is where I assume. Remember how you got the game's ending? No. No. You jumped off something.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
Is that how I
telling
got to the
him that
ending?
the employee lounge
I can't remember
was
now.
simply the
It's been
place
so
to
long.
be. And here it was.
It's been
Had
3
the bucket
hours
turned out to
since
be
I did it,
correct? Was
and
there
that
no-
is enough.
Never mind.
I'm getting older now.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I jumped off the platform,
No,
right?
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Onto this.
The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Yeah, I've already done
Stanley
that.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not
Isn't
to
this
think
how
about
I
this
got to
obvious
the-
fact.
where
He
there was the
firmly
extra
convinced
third
that
door.
the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a
No
sign
buckets
right there.
past
It says,
this-
"No buckets past this point."
Oh, did I
Stanley,
notice
how would you
that
think
earlier?
It was okay to bring the bucket here.
Oh my
Unless-
god!
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
I remember
I
that.
suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh god. Okay, do this again next time, but without the bucket. I just wanted you to get this ending. That's brilliant. I remember a few hours ago, I noticed and I read it and I laughed at it and I didn't understand the relevance of it at the time.
Now then, I'm going to run
my
you through
God.
some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not
Oh,
a
this is
bucket.
incredible.
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
Oh,
not
I
an
got it
actual
right.
bucket.
No way.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an
That's
actual
still a
bucket.
bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, what?
This is a bucket.
No, it isn't. What? Oh my god, this is amazing.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both Gotcha.
Oh. Thank you, Miko, for the 30 months. It is a bucket.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket, when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay.
No.
Here we go.
No. Don't you do it. Don't you do... Don't you do it.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything's a bucket.
Disappear. Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
That seems
and
like it's
we'll
a fair
know that it's
fair thing.
all a bucket. But if you run
Everything's a
into
bucket.
anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Everything is a
Who knows
bucket.
what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
That was a great ending. Okay, same thing again, but without the bucket. Fuck.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was brilliant.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Stanley Parable,
okay.
I didn't think, like, it was so good.
But eager
And
to get
Ultra
back to
Deluxe,
business, Stanley took the
I hesitate to
first
say
open
it, but
door
I
on
think
his
it's even
left.
better. Like, it really has enhanced the
Stanley was
original.
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
It's
fired
given
years
just
ago.
as many laughs.
Look, Stanley,
The
I
bucket
think perhaps
stuff
we've
is
gotten
just
off on
like-
the wrong foot here.
I
I'm
genuinely
not
think
your
it's
enemy, really,
even
I'm
better.
not. I realize that investing in your
'Cause it even
trust
still
in
has the
someone else
original,
can be
so, like,
difficult, but the fact
best of
is
both
that
worlds.
the story has been
And it's
about
so
nothing
meta
but
on
you
itself.
all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I
Expanded
want
and
something
bucketed.
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
buckets
do
past
want
this
to
point.
help you, to show you something beautiful.
Ah, there's the
Look,
red and the
let
blue
me
door.
prove it.
There
Let
it
me
is.
prove that I'm on your... And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This
not gonna
is
give me
doing
anything, is
something
it?
just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
God damn it. Literally no actual reward.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I did blue last time, so let's do red.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel
I have vague
I actually
recollections
feel happy.
of this from the first playthrough.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to... No. Oh, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Whee!
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Whee! I do remember doing this.
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Rip. We got them all though. We got all the Stiggly Wigglies. Alright. Give me the endings without the bucket. What are the new endings?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines.
What?
Those figlets. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, we're in the memory zone again.
Love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
No way. When Stanley found the collectibles, now remembering. No way. Oh my God. Okay, I wasn't expecting this.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6. It popped up. What's with the dudes all trying to get the... Yeah, I see. It popped up 7 out of 6.
And here was the second Stanlerine. You found this
Saying
one
a
all
different
on your
name
own,
for
just
each
by poking
one.
around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back
8
then,
out
I
of
had
6.
no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh man, this is amazing. Under the stairs or
Okay,
the warehouse?
Let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Warehouse.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the warehouse. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
9 out of 6. Oh, this is amazing. Then what do we do? Or do I go back? Oh no, there we go.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
That's
Oh,
not
well,
right.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
This doesn't feel right. 10 out of 6. I don't remember this pink room. Was it Superliminal that had the big apple? I remember that.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the boss's bathroom. I remember it so clearly.
11
in
out
fact,
of 6.
because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
No way.
Enjoy.
Oh my god. This is incredible. This is incredible. Windows Movie Maker. It's mini Stan 5. Oh my god. I made videos with Windows Movie Maker back in the day. Thanks for watching. Oh, this is freaking unbelievable. I had credits as well.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
very
spent a lot of
much.
time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Oh my god, this is freaking incredible. This is so good.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others.
That makes sense.
Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
12 out of 6. Doesn't matter which one we go through. Still confused about the pink room though. You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment.
The past.
Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
The pink room was...
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen.
Oh,
Isn't
it
there some way we can
unloaded.
stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay. I think the narrator, for being so unenthused about the
room
figurines...
with the red and blue doors. I remember this.
13 out of
I
6.
must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
I think he's getting a little bit obsessed.
And here's where I made that
14
video.
out of
Don't you
6.
remember the video we watched?
I remember the video. We don't need to see it again. We don't...
Yes. love that video.
This is fantastic. Oh my god.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one.
Yeah,
Good room,
same.
though. A solid room.
It's 15 out of 6.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very
16 out of
glad we
6.
resisted the temptation. Next one.
Huh. Aw. Yeah, we haven't got the under the stairs one again.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
17
the past
out of
is
6.
truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh, we're back in the exhibition. Oh, wait, we were. The jump circle, the collectibles. Yeah, that's where we were.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. The time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm
Oh,
actually
the
quite
meta-analysis
fond
of the whole
Look
thing.
how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh my god. And the room, of course.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Is it going to be the
Yes,
intro video?
I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
It's back to the start, isn't it? Oh, that was brilliant. That was so good. That was a fantastic ending.